Today I'm going to show you how to set up the Cumulus ozone generator. My name is Micah and I am an expert in ozone. I've worked with it for approximately 12 years in many different applications. I've done a lot of writing, a lot of videos, etc. If you know me, you know me. So let's get into it. There are a few things you're going to need prior to setting up your Cumulus ozone generator. You're going to need the generator, of course. You're going to need some silicone tubing that's going to connect from the oxygen tank to the ozone generator. You're going to need the oxygen tank itself. This one is a 540. You may have an 870. Functionally, everything works the same. From there, you're going to need your accessory, so whatever you want to fill up with ozone or use the ozone for. In this example, I have a syringe because that's pretty easy just to demonstrate. And then I have a fill system, which is a three-way valve that just allows me to fill things up quicker and easier. So before we get into actually setting it up, there's a few things I want to show you. This is the ozone outlet right here on the machine. This is where the ozone is going to come out. This is the oxygen inlet. This is where the oxygen is going to go in. And then this is the dial. This is how you're going to set the concentration of the ozone coming out of the machine. And on here, this is a concentration chart. So this chart will help you determine the concentration of ozone that you're going to get out of the machine. So from here, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and plug the machine in. Next, I am going to hook up my oxygen tank. If you have not watched the oxygen tank video and don't know how to set it up, go ahead and watch that. And I'm going to take the other end of the tubing and put it on the oxygen inlet of the ozone generator. So from here, I'm connected to oxygen. My machine is plugged in. Now it's a matter of extracting the amount of gas that we want. Again, like I said, everything is going to come out of here. So for my three-way system, which looks like this, I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the top of this machine. I'll also show you how to use it without the three-way fill system. The first thing that you need to do when using the ozone generator is to determine the concentration of ozone that you want. So again, on here, you'll see a chart. For example, I can see numbers 6 all the way to 88. So somewhere in that range, I'm going to select my concentration. But let's say, for example, I want a concentration of 17. So I find the number on my chart, and then I look at the corresponding row and the corresponding column that matches with that. So for example, 17 corresponds with 1/2 here on the left side of the chart. And then if I look above it, setting 4 corresponds with 17. So if I set my machine to 4 and my oxygen tank to 1/2 liter per minute, I am going to get a concentration of 17. If my oxygen tank is not running and the ozone machine is on, there is no ozone coming out of the machine. It's just running. So I go ahead and set my machine to 4. Now it's at setting 4. I can hear it running. I'm going to go ahead and set my oxygen tank to a setting of 1/2. And now ozone is being created. It's going out of the oxygen tank through the ozone generator. What that does is that deconstructs the oxygen and recombines it into ozone. And we're controlling the rate at which that happens by selecting the concentration we want. This is my three-way system. The nice thing about this is that there's no ozone going into the air right now. This silver piece is called a destruct. And what this does is this neutralizes ozone. So as ozone passes through this, there's this carbon-like material that's in there that turns it back into oxygen. So I can't actually smell any ozone right now, even though it's being made. But what I can do, say I wanted to use 40 ml of ozone gas, I can go ahead and attach it to this piece here, and then just change my valve so that begins to fill up. And then I just switch it back when I'm all done. Now I have my syringe full of 17 gamma, and I have approximately 55 ml of ozone gas in here. So that is how you set up the Cumulus ozone generator and fill one of these syringes, which are great for determining how much volume you have. However, let's just say that I didn't want to use the fill system. I just want to connect it directly to the machine. I can do that too. Any accessory fits right onto here, and I just connect it to the machine. Then when I'm done, turn my oxygen tank off, and I'm good to go. If you're going to be utilizing this ozone, you do want the syringe or whatever system you have to be upright. Ozone is more dense than air, so if I tip it this way, it's kind of falling out. But if I keep it upright like this, it stays within the chamber. And so it's pretty simple. I mean, just don't overthink it. You have your concentration chart here, so select the concentration that you want. Hook up your oxygen tank, get that turned on, watch my oxygen tank video if you need, and then connect whatever accessory you want to here. And it's quite simple. It's quite that easy. One thing that's very distinct about this machine and that's very important is that this produces pure concentrations of ozone, meaning that there's no contamination in the gas. This could be considered a research grade ozone gas. And one of the things that we do to ensure that it has that purity is we use what's called a dual dielectric electrode. And this is when we use an all quartz reactor. So ozone likes to combine and bond with different things. It likes to break things down. So you need to use materials that are all 100% ozone resistant. All the generators that we utilize use 100% ozone resistant materials. And this allows us to get these pure concentrations of ozone that would be considered a research grade level of ozone purity. So that is, again, how you set up the Cumulus ozone generator. If there are any accessories, any other ozone generators that you want, just go to www.simplyo3.com.